at GFC in Bury. And second part, mate, we was going to move on to yourself and how it started, the GFC and whatever you was thinking of doing and how you come to do it. But again, off camera, we get sidetracked. And I just mentioned to you about Sandy being a very influential player in the game back in the day, in that intervening period of Skens and everything. So he pretty much must have been, was he?
He was a big part of it. It was kind of like Master Sken's right-hand man, from the point of view of like, organising isn't probably quite the right word, but he would be busier than everybody else. Oliver and Humphrey, for example, possibly better Thai boxers, probably were better Thai boxers, but they were more interested in their own careers. Sandy wanted to have a go at everything else. Sandy started work when he was training, so he worked at Warby's, and then he gave his job up and went full time. So when we opened, when Sandy opened Bolton Thai Boxing Club, he actually opened it with Rob Sharpley. And Rob Sharpley was the businessman behind it, pointing Sandy in the right direction to make sure that that place could stay open. Because you can sit here and you can say what you want about Sandy and Rob and everything else like that, but that, with the exception of Wicker, is the longest standing established full-time Thai boxing gym in the country. And even in the 7 years I think we were at Vernon Street before it got knocked down, I saw an awful lot of gyms open, an awful lot of gyms shut down. So no matter whether you're very good at teaching Thai boxing, like, if you want to have a full-time gym, you still got to do an awful lot of other things as well regarding business, etc., etc. So from that point of view, yeah, it was very influential. Showed people that you can do it, you can have a full-time gym. And I remember someone saying to me, and I won't name it, morning saying, "Oh, you guys with full-time gyms, you know, you're charging this for this, you're charging that for that, just so you can do this. It's not really fair on all those people in sports halls, you know, they only want to pay 80p. I said, well, yeah, but you know, you pay 80p a pound in them days to train in a sports hall. What can you really do? Do you know,
Without a boxing ring.
Without a boxing ring, without full-time, you know, I'll come back to it in a second, so one of the things that Sandy did, yeah, is he showed you can have a full-time gym open all the time. So with Master Sken and all his offshots, but particularly with Sandy had so many offshots of people that opened up gyms. It's unreal. Do you know, Phil Nurse came from there, Steve Riley came from there, Roy Yates, even though he's gone now, but some of his offshoots still run parts of Blackburn. Obviously there's me, and it goes on and on and on and on. There's loads of people. Trevor Ryan opened, Charlie all from Sandy, etc., etc.
So if you go back, me being the new guy, only 9, 10 years, 11 years in, whatever I am in. So the ones you mentioned there, Sandy, Wicker Camp,
yeah,
Tony Moore. So if what bits I know from the last 11 years, how come they didn't go and take over and dominate the British, or am I being, did they do?
No.
And,
what we had is...
from a personal point of view, I know we don't see them on the circuit now as such.
There's lots of reasons. So let's rewind back to sort of like mid-1980s. There's basically two fractions. So Master Sken and Master Toddy, boom, off they go. So all Master Toddy's like at one side and Master Sken's got on one side. So Master Toddy ran whatever he ran, I can't remember, and Master Sken with a few other people on the BTBC. And they never really competed against each other. So your Toddies would be the likes of Pele, was probably your biggest, and who was around the longest out of that. But from Sken you had loads and loads of people came off from him. Again, kind of doing where Master Sken was concerned, that 18 months of training that they'd done for 3 years by themselves and made it into there, and then Master Sken came along and started to do other bits and pieces with it. And then you got to sort of like late 80s, early 90s, Master Toddy's doing the big massive tie with Ronnie Green and the likes fighting ties over here. Master Sken tried it in 90, twice. He's been 90 or early 91 because he brought Coban over and the likes of the top ties.
Red Cardell days.
Yeah. No, they weren't at the Cardell. These were both at Bowlers.
Right.
I missed one of them because we're in America, so I've got a feeling they were both in 1990. And that was kind of the way, the start of the end of Sitting On. So that was like the highlight, this is where we are. And then Sitting On kind of fell to pieces then. So Tony Moore being the first person, Master Sken had said, somebody's not pulling the way I want to go. And you had this echelon, you had Master Skin, and then you had the likes, so it was Sandy, Oliver, Humphrey, Tony Moore, a few other people whose names, you know.
Family Tree,
as
we know it. And
Master Skin basically kicked Tony Moore out. I kind of know the reasons, they're not important, where he kicked him out, and that was it. It all started to fall apart then, and they all went off in their own ways. Oliver Humphrey went a different way, Tony Moore went a different way. And Tony Moore had his own little circuit, and he stuck to his own little circuit. He didn't really want to progress beyond that circuit for whatever reason. He had his Sandra and Stephen. They were very, very good fighters. Tony Moore was like really into all aspects of Muay Thai. He did a lot of weapons training and stuff like that. And I saw some demonstrations with him and Stephen doing weapons demonstrations. They were unbelievable. So he looked into it beyond the kind of competition sports side of things as well. Don't get me wrong, at that period, he had fighters out. Like, I remember Paul Bates, I was a 15-year-old, like light years ahead of everybody else, but kind of stuck there. So as I was saying then, like, we're all here, and Tony Moore went, oh look, I'm here, but everybody else sort of went like that, and Tony stayed where he was for whatever reason. He decided to stay where he was. Oliver and Humphrey went into the boxing side of things as much as they did the Thai boxing side, and then the third generation started to come through, and other people. I think the world then got a little bit smaller then as well, and more people going to Thailand and coming along, and
gleaning the information, coming back.
Information from over there, and then it just keeps changing. Like, who is at the top of it, and now what you tend to find is the people who've been around the longest are the ones who probably know the least in a lot of cases, and the young kids coming through are the ones who are really, really progressing.
I think we see a lot of that now, don't we? The young instructors that have took all the bits up from you guys and then doing their own thing. I've always found it not strange. Strange is probably the wrong word. That them original pioneers didn't go out, and then we didn't see them in recent times on MSA, and Wicker did. They had a couple of.
Wicker still have got great fighters. They've still got very, very well skilled Muay Thai fighters. They just don't go out all that often, or they do. I mean, funny enough, I was looking this morning at results from a show in Sheffield, which I knew absolutely nothing about.
Yeah.
And it's mainly Wicker versus the two main guys there, Lee Chester's and Christina Paolo's two gyms. And I knew nothing about that show at all. And I sat looking at the results thinking, I'd like to have just seen that, to see what they were doing. I'm guilty of kind of sticking on a circuit that I'm happy with. I'm very particular. I'll only go to shows where I know they run properly, the judges are going to be on there. I need to probably go to other shows, but I'm not sure where I want to go. And then I was thinking about going on a show the other day. I thought, that kind of fits into my calendar. I'll see if I get a couple of fighters on that. And I noticed they've got 216-year-olds fighting full-time rules. So I thought, I'm not going to that show then. All different kettle of fish. Going back quickly to the start. So, 83 started with Sandy. By 85 I'm teaching. Me and Phil are doing most of the teaching there.
At Sandy's?
At Sandy's gym.
Right.
And I'm thinking, right, I want my own gym.
So that was the ping.
Yeah.
And so where we're talking then? What?
I was still in Bolton then.
And time-wise, dates?
Time-wise, well, I went to America. for 3 months in 1990. And when I come back, I thought, I want my own gym. So I started looking, and I lived in Bolton, and at the time there wasn't really anything in Bury. I wanted Bury. And then Phil Nurse opened up a gym up in Bury. So I thought, well, I can't have Bury. Because we were all part of Sit Wrong then, and basically every Sit Wrong gym was called Sit Wrong, and then wherever you were, Sit Wrong Bolton, Sit Wrong Knutsford, Sit Wrong Bury, etc, etc, etc.
Did you have to pay for the privilege?
No, not directly. You were supposed to license through him, buy equipment through him and stuff like that. So indirectly, yeah. If we did gradings, you had to do gradings with him, etc. You had to go to his interclub. So indirectly, do you know.
So was there actually a ping moment, or was it just a general idea?
Well, as I said before, the second I started training, after about 12 months, I really want to teach. And I think I'd been to America to try and sort myself out. When I came back to Sandy, I said, Sandy, look, I think there's room for 2 full-time instructors in Bolton. He said, no, I don't think there is. So I thought, right, well, in that case, I really need my own gym, because this is what I want to do now. So...
Did he take that lightly?
I don't think he took me seriously, to be honest. But it's one of those things you kind of know. I mean, I've got lads here now teaching more, because Luke's one, but then if Adam turned around to me in 3 months' time and said, I want to open my gym, it wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. I give them far more leeway, far more encouragement, and far more responsibility and recognition than Sandy ever did to anybody who worked with him in his gym. So hopefully that won't happen, because at the moment I think we've got a pretty damn good setup, and I'd like to keep it going as the way it is, but it wouldn't surprise me anyone wanted to try it themselves, and I'd give him the blessings. Did it with Scott Chadwick. Scott Chadwick left and opened his own gym up. Wished him all the best of luck.
Good. Yeah.
You know?
So
yeah.
So you decide on Bury.
So yeah,
You
started
start
on Bury.
you start looking around, do you? Looking at mills and
Started looking around, but couldn't find anywhere in Bury. And then what happened is I ended up the road in Haywood. So I opened Haywood probably in late 90. Found a little building, it was a Salvation Army building that had been bought by some brothers who ordered karate, turned it into a gym, weights gym one side, martial arts from the other day. Got a couple of days a week out there, and I was there for 2 years, 2 to 3 years.
and what was you running under then? GFC?
I was sitting on Haywood.
Right, okay.
So, and what happened with that place is we'd run it along, I'd finished competing, a few of the other lads were competing for me, 2 or 3 nights a week, still teaching at Bolton, and I asked them for a different day. I wanted another day, and they said, yeah, you can have this day. Rocked up with a lot of people for a class. I told them, no, you can't have it now. So I'm like, we've decided to open this class up, and I thought, right, I need my own place. Now, quickly, politics-wise, Phil had opened up in Bury, left Bury, and he moved to Radcliffe. Now, I did the mileage, right, where Phil's gym was in Bury. But I found this place. Someone said to me, this is where we are now. So I did the mileage. Phil's gym in Radcliffe was further away than my gym in Haywood was from this place, and I lived closer to this place than Phil did. Phil hadn't been here then for over 18 months, nearly 2 years, and I went to speak to the powers that be and said, right, I want to open in Bury. And they said, oh, okay, fine. Phil's not in Bury. Opened this place up, got it up and running. Phil went mental. We had a conversation. It kind of got sorted out. I think at the time Phil was living in New York and spending 3 months in Radcliffe, and he was moaning about me opening up a gym in Bury.
Yeah.
I think, hopefully in hindsight now, because I've bumped into each other at the time, he's probably thinking, he probably got the better rubber than he just finished doing private lessons for like, I don't know, some famous like dancer or something like that, and he come rocking up here going mental because I had a gym full of people in Bury. Stayed sitting around Haywood even though we were in Bury for a couple of years, and then probably 95-ish, 96, asking whatever to sign a contract. He was in sitting around saying that we'd do this, this and this and this. And without going into it, I looked at it and thought, I can't sign this because I can't do all these things. And I had a conversation with Master Sken. I said, look, Master Sken, basically I said, I'm 100% honest, you know that. Loads of people are going to sign this and going to carry on doing what they're doing, but I can't sign this because I can't do all these things. And he just said, that's fine, we'll never fall out. If you want to go your own way, go your own way. So I went my own way, and that was it.
Totally independently?
Totally independently.
Started from scratch?
Best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
Apart from starting Thai boxing, best thing I ever did.
So this is where we are now, was it?
Well, yeah,
in
physically,
this building?
Physically, yeah.
So you walked in with was it a blank canvas, this place? Was it empty?
Completely blank campus. This actual unit runs all the way to the end of the mill and round the corner. And I just told them, 2,500 square foot. Hindsight, I should have said 2,600 because it solved me a lot of problems, but we won't go into that. Built a wall, built the rings, built the change rooms.
So how long did it take you to get up and running from?
3 months.
3 months from seeing it?
3 months from seeing it, yeah.
So back in the day then, so what year was we on again then, sorry?
We're on February 1996 we moved in here.
Right, so we've no social media and things like that. So you rock up, you open up the doors, you've kitted it out best you can with limited equipment, you would have presumed. How did you get your first people through the door?
Well, because I still had sitting on Haywood, which was just up the road, they all just came down with me. I was still teaching at Sanders, but a lot of people who trained me at Sanders on this, so they came with me. And the best advertising I've ever done, ever, and it only works as a one-off, rang the Bury Times up, said, right, I've just started this gym up, blah, 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 blah. Do you fancy sending a reporter down to have a go? So they sent me 2 girls down to try and have a class. So we did the class, these 2 girls did a double page write-up on it. The gym has never been busy than it was for the 3 or 4 months after that.
Through a newspaper?
Through a newspaper write-up. And now it's hard for us to get anything in there at all. And I think
it's crazy.
The world has changed now anyway. I don't think anybody reads the Bury Times or those 3 papers anymore.
Might read the online versions if they have one.
That's it, yeah.
Nobody actually goes out and buys a newspaper. So that was the start of things.
That's the start of
here.
1990.
And was that GFC then here?
No, it was still sitting on something or other then. I guess sitting on Haywood probably.
Right.
And then when I decided, right, I said to my scanner, I I can't sign this contract. And he said, right, we'll part ways. It's not a problem. We'll always speak and everything. I'd said, right, to the missus what we're going to call the gym. And I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Well, we spoke about that in the trailer, didn't we? And you said, if I tell you I've got to shoot you or something like that, I'll take you over there and give you a good idea.
It's a Mickey take on me, and that's it. It's just
that's all. That's all. Because obviously I've mentioned GFC now a few times, and I will go back and people will realise because they'll see the trailer first. Trailer we've not recorded yet, by the way, but. Yeah, so GFC, you're not going to tell us what GFC is, are you?
It was one of those, right? You sat there and I said, right, what do we call it? Well, I didn't want to call it Bury Thai Boxing Club because there was a Bury Thai Boxing Club, even though it was based 4 miles down the road. I didn't like all the heavy hitters, blah, 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 blah. All the Thai names were taken, the Lumpini and all this, like, and all that. And we just sat there and rocked, literally banged our heads together. It was basically like 4 couples that used to get together at the weekend. And Maxine and me, obviously, and most of us had done Thai boxing, and we just sat there and we were like rocking our heads, what should we call it? And we ended up calling it GFC. And then, like, a few weeks later, Maxine had said to me, she said, what are you going to call the gym? I said, GFC. She goes, I was only joking. I said, what, 450 pairs of shorts with GFC on now, love? It's
He's done.
It's done.
and now, GFC, I mean, I get, obviously, you know my background through the photography and everything, and there's not many places you can go that doesn't know of GFC now. So we'll finish that little section off with that. If anybody wants to ring me and ply me, I was going to say babe, but that doesn't work anymore. And I can't tell you because I don't know. And I don't want to know. So we'll finish that little section off then, and then we'll come back with the next episode and we'll talk early days and getting your first fighters ready for comp. Cheers, mate. Thank you.